Hello guys, welcome to learning of C language. In this session we are discussing basics, C basics. This is important. Why? Because if we know basics only, we will understand further things. Like if you want to do any program with C language, it is basics are mandatory, right? If you want to do anything with C language, if you know basics only, we will do it. For that, come to this session. Here I am giving one of the simple example. Let us try to understand this example. Let's see. Let us assume this is a classroom. Okay, let us assume this is a classroom. So we have a rows and columns. Let us assume rows and columns in classroom. So here student 1, let us assume here student 1 sitting here, and one more student sitting here, and one more student sitting somewhere here. Let us assume like that. Okay, for example, teacher want to call this student. Okay, teacher want to call this student. How she will call? By using name only, right? By using name only, teacher will call the student by using name. Example, want to call this student means by using name only. Let us assume here this student name is S1, ST1, student 1. Let us assume like that, ST1. So here let us take ST2, ST of 2. Here ST of 3. That is nothing but student 3. Student 1, student 2, student 3. Okay. And come to C also we will decide student 1 and student 2 and student 3. Okay, like this we will do. Student 1, student 2, student 3. Okay. Student 1 got 80 marks. Let us assume student 1 got 80 marks. Student 2 got 90. Student 3 got some 75.2. Let us assume 75.2. In C also, student 1 got how many marks? 80. Student 2 got some 90. Student 3 got 75.2. Let us assume like this. So this is the by how many marks student 1 got? 80 marks. How we are identifying? By using name only, right? By using name only. By using name only, we are identifying the data, student data. By using name only, we are identifying data. So here let us assume here 80, here 80 we got. Okay, here we 80, 80 and 90 data, and here 75 point around 2, right? So by using names only, we are identifying data. So come to the C. Okay, this come to the C language. So this 80 we want to store in memory, and 90 also we want to store, and 75 whatever the data we are storing inside the memory. This is the memory. Let us assume this is entire memory. Inside memory we are storing data, student data. Let us assume student data. So here I am storing 80. So student 1 got 80, right? For this student 1, how much memory we need to allocate? Means this memory size, let us assume like 5 MB. Simply 5 MB, let us assume. For one student, how much memory allocate? We have 3 students here, let us assume. For one student, how much memory allocate? So how can we decide? In C, how can we decide? Let's see here. By using data types, we can decide the by using data types we will decide the memory. By using data types we will decide the memory, how much memory we need to allocate. So let's see here, data types means we have a different type of data types. We have a different type of data types: integer, float, and character. We have a different type of data types. So in this session we are discussing basics only, so according to that only I am explaining here. So one is integer, another one float, and one is character. Okay, one is a character. So by using these only we will allocate the memory. So here for example, integer will take 2 bytes. Okay, 2 bytes, and float will take 4 bytes. This is most important thing. In an interview also they will ask like integer how many bytes it will take. Character 1 byte. 1 byte it will take. This is the most important thing. In interview also they will ask how many bytes the integer will take. And here you need to remember one thing. Integer is 2 bytes, right? Here integer is 2 bytes. But these 2 bytes, 4 bytes are depends on compiler. Based on the compiler only, it will allocate the memory. Right now we are discussing about 16-bit compiler. Okay, 16-bit compiler, integer will take 2 bytes. If it is 32-bit, integer will take 4 bytes. Float also same. If it is 16-bit, 4, 32 also 4 bytes. Okay, character always 1 byte only. Character always 1 byte. Integer only varies according to the compiler. According to the compiler. This is very important. Okay. So integer will take 2 bytes, right? For example, come to here in this scenario. Here I am storing all the data by using integer type. Let us assume integer type. Integer type. Okay, integer type. Here I am storing the data. Integer type I am using. Let us assume integer type I am using. Means it will allocate 2 bytes, 1 byte and 2 bytes. In 2 bytes, it will store 80. Okay, in 2 bytes, it will store the 80. In 2 bytes, it will store 90. In 2 bytes, 75 will store in 2 bytes. 75 will store in 2 bytes. Here, the 75 will store entire 2 bytes. By 2 bytes, it will store the data. In 80 also 2 bytes it will store. Okay. Like this it will store 2 bytes it will take, 2 bytes it will take. Okay, fine. So here then what is the difference between int, float and character? Okay, so bytes is fine. Okay, bytes are fine. Okay, int is taking 2 bytes and float is taking 4 bytes, character 1 byte. So come to the data. When we are declaring integer, right, here we are declaring integer, we are assigning some 75.5. In come to integer did not accept decimal values actually. After decimal, whatever the value we are giving, after decimal, whatever the value we are giving, it did not take. Means it will do only 75 only. It will give the result 75 only. 0.02 it did not give. For this purpose, we need to use, if you want to store decimal values, we can use, we need to use float. When we are using float means if you want work with the decimal values, we will use float. We will use float. By using float only, we will store decimal values. Integer will store normal values. Without decimal values, it will store the normal values. Come to the character. So, come to the character. Character by using already by using the character, we will store the characters like a, like this we will store. Okay, like this we will store. So when we are working with the characters, we need to give single quotes. Don't forget, when we are working with the character, we need to give single characters. Okay, now maybe you got some idea. Okay, so here integer, by using integer, based on the integer only, based on the data type, based on the data type, we can tell to the compiler how much memory we need to allocate. If it is integer means 2 bytes, float means 4 bytes. So by using name only, we can access the data. By using name only, we can access the data. Whatever the data we are assigning to this variable, we are by using name only. Here name means variable. Okay, this is we call as a variable name. Variable. By using variable name only, we can access the data. Right? You understand, right? Float, ST3 and 75.2. Why we are using this, all those things, maybe you understood, right? Everything is clear. So if you understand this clearly, in further programs, whenever you are doing programs, it is easily you can understand, easily you can write the programs. Why? Because if you want to work with any decimal value, we use float. If you are working with normal variables, we use directly integer only. So like this we will do it. So same thing we will see in compiler, like how we will produce the output. For example, we have a multiple integers, we are declaring like this, right? So float is also multiple, we will declare one more variable. Here we will take 4 and we will assign one more variable. one more variable value, some 80.22. So like this we will do. We'll see output in compiler in next session. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any doubts in this session, you can comment me. We will discuss those things also.